Yo, yo, yo. What's the deal, y'all?
Peace and blessings, you know what I'm saying, to all social media friends and family. You know, today we're going to hit about this Tory Lanez situation with him getting stabbed up. And, you know, shit is real. The penitentiary, I always talk about the penitentiary ain't safe. It ain't guaranteed you can make it home. They almost took this man's life. But me and my man M16, we're going to expound on a little bit. He have more knowledge of the situation than I do. So, you know, I'm going to be asking the questions this go around. You know, he's going to be breaking it down. And I'm going to break it down in a jail perspective because I did a lot of time. But, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to let M16 take over from
so
here.
dig this, y'all. We got actual footage of the stabbing that happened with Tory Lanez. He got stabbed 14 times. He got stabbed in the face, collapsed lung. He had to be taken to the hospital by a helicopter and everything. So we got the actual footage of what happened. Not only do we have the actual footage, but we also have the interview with the guy who did it, who stabbed Tory Lanez. Is a Mexican guy, whatever, who claims that him and Tory Lanez was cool before he did that. But he said Tory Lanez liked to talk too much, so that's why he did that. He said he was talking too crazy. He said he went on a VI bill, and when he went on a VI, Tory Lanez was like flirting with his shorty or whatever on the VI. So he said, yo, when he came back from the VI, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But we about to get into it, you know what I mean?
Before you move on, where's he at in jail? Which system? Is he in the state system, federal system? You know what state he in?
I believe it's federal. I believe it's federal, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure what facility they got him at, though. But I know the dude that did that, he's a murderer, so he definitely housed in regular population.
And you got certain systems, they keep everybody together. They ain't like, oh, murderer. They gonna keep all the murderers together. Nah, it all depends on your custody, your classification, what you've been up to. You know, so they gonna have everybody mixed in.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. So we gonna get into it. This information right here, because this is just as new. This is hot on the press. This just was released.
And it shows, like I said, you come in the system, you think it's shit sweet, it ain't guaranteed you make it out. They don't give a fuck if you a rapper, you rich, whatever. You know, you got a number. You only can spend a certain amount of money in commissary, so we all the same. The police gonna look at you. You're all the same. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't give a fuck if you Puff Daddy or you whatever. He's getting Puff Daddy's getting treated the same as everybody else. That's you go in the system. Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, anybody that's locked up in the system is going to be treated the same. You ain't getting no special privileges. So you could get stabbed just like anybody. Anything can happen. The police could whip your ass. You get stabbed. Anything could happen where you won't make it home. Or if you do make it home, you won't make it home the same way you came in.
That's right. The first question they ask you is where you want your body sent before you even get classified and everything like that. So that'll tell you right there that you're not guaranteed to make it home. And, you know, just bear with us with the footage, because the footage is not all the way good, but we're gonna show y'all. And while the footage is going on, he's actually conducting an interview talking about why he did it.
That day that you stabbed him allegedly. I just came out in the morning to tell him, you know, good morning. And I told him what's up. Give him a little fist bump, asked him if everything is good. We had a little situation the night before and the day before. So what's the situation the night before and the day before?
That's Tory on the floor right there.
He was trying to put money on my head. He felt uncomfortable living next to him. Said I was a threat. So I confronted him. And then I found out the same thing. He tried to put money on my head, so he said I put money on his head. We had a little discussion or whatever. So the next morning, that night, he said some shit. Okay. So the next morning, I came out to see if everything was good. Switched phone, talked to him. He said, yeah, so I was going back into my cell. And when I looked back, instead of going to cell, he was walking towards my door. He stood in front of my cell, looking at his
So they're basically showing the same video over and over again.
And when he showed me what he had, he took it in his pocket.
That's him falling on the floor again. He's trying to kick him. You can see in the video, he's trying to kick him, and he kind of did like a break dance on his back, kind of trying to turn to the side. The dude just kept stabbing him up.
And I just snatched him. I took advantage of him. Weak.
So that's basically the video right there. And this is just the audio.
I show the picture of them.
No, not at all. But I think when I
Picture of
thought I
both of
was
them.
the weapon, I thought ready. And when I felt like
That's the dude right there that did it.
I felt like, oh, stab me. So I moved back and I kept stabbing more. And I seen that he threw something, so I was like, what the is that? So I just kept going. After he was yelling, help, screaming, please help me. I just kicked him once and I tried protection and said, I'm like, look at me. And then I just let him go. Like, I was just saying, like, man, you trying to kill me?
What were you guys like? I know why, but why would he pick you out of all people to want to put money on your head? What was the beef exactly about?
It was really no beef. He just talked a lot. You know,
He talk a lot. He ain't no beef, he just talk a lot.
Just talk a lot,
His
damn.
mouth got him in a world of shit. You know, he almost lost his life. You know, you can stop that now. They know they could go online, they could see his life. I mean, his mouth almost. You know how they say, write a check that your ass can't cash.
That's a fact.
So that's what he did. He fucking with these Mexicans and these. They brought up a different way. They got a culture.
Word.
They culturizing with this gang activity, with the things that go on. They into that shit hard. That's all they know. You know,
Plus, he been locked up for mad long.
and they take care of you. They gonna take care of his family. They gonna take care of home while he in there. He gonna be a shot call. He gonna do things. So they're not gonna let a dude just come in there. You just come in the system. You don't know how you a celebrity. You don't know how this thing go.
Yeah, that's they home.
They was born and raised up in this shit. The streets, the jails. You know, they've been in it. And that's all they know. So you come in there, you playing games, or I'm gonna put a hit out. You tell somebody you gonna put a hit out on them, or you gonna put money in their head, they gonna get at you. They ain't gonna see, wait, if you telling the truth or you playing, because they know when they put something on somebody's head, it's going down.
Going down. Word.
So they're not gonna play. Like I said, I don't,
kill or be killed. It's kill before you get killed. So
yeah. So that right there, the dude, he wasn't just trying to cut him and get away. He was trying to take his life. He cut that man, stabbed him 14 times. He wasn't gonna stop.
Nah,
he wasn't. He put that work in. Like when I was in the federal penitentiary, I seen how the Mexicans get down. I was in this spot called Big Sandy, right? And I seen how they get at people. I see how they move. You know, it was a situation where they sent like 20 Mexicans in a unit early morning, right? It was a child run, the unit was open. They sent 20 Mexicans in there. They got busy, whoever they was going to war with. I can't remember the situation. I just remember how they did it. So once them 20 Mexicans did what they did and got tired and they was running out, it was another 20 Mexicans run up in there to finish whatever they didn't do. And then when they came out, they sent 3 groups in there back to back.
Damn.
So whoever they was going to war in, the first group, whatever happened,
they ain't finished the job.
and then they came out. The second group went in there to crush it, and the third group went in there to clean it up. That's how the Mexicans, they military, they be doing burpees for the whole rec period. Now, I don't know if you know what burpees is. That's like a form of workout. That, you know, and it was a clip in a reel, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago, where somebody was like, yo, Mexicans got on boots. Mexicans got, when they put them boots on, you know they about to get busy. You know,
you already know what's going down.
Like I said, they got a structure, they discipline, and they move strategically because they got leaders that been in there. They don't got no weak leaders. You know, dude just ain't gonna come in there and I got time to know. They like the mob. They got a structure. You know, from the black hand down. You know, and if you in certain gangs and you Mexican, you can't come in there. So now they do it to their own people. Somebody like Tory Lanez is really nobody to them.
That's a fact.
You know, they'd rather deal with Tory Lanez or a regular black dude or anybody than have to deal with they black hand or whoever in charge. Because whenever they get a situation, it's going to go from jail to jail.
That's what they call themselves, matter of fact, right? Mexican Mafia, right?
Nah, you got different gangs. Mexican Mafia controls all the Mexican gangs. They the black hand. They the top of the
Mexican
food chain.
Mafia, right?
Yeah. But there's other groups, you know what I'm saying, that falls under the Mexican Mafia, you know?
Yeah.
Serranios and the MS-13s.
Yeah.
It's different ones, but like I said, you got the Tango Blast. The Tango Blast dudes is crazy. I respect them because they like, They act like they city dudes tango blast. So like you ain't blasting, you ain't lasting. Them dudes is crazy. They got like a I won't say a New York swag, but they got a swag with them. Like yeah, tango blast. But you got a lot of Mexican gangs, but in all them gangs, they got their men, they got their people that's going to get extremely busy. And Tory Lanez wouldn't fuck with them. I don't know who was supposed to be backing Tory Lanez, but obviously. You just heard him getting stabbed. You ain't heard nothing else behind that. No war going. They locking the jail down. It's going crazy. So he really wasn't a nobody.
And
he wasn't a factor.
He knew he was gonna make a name for himself by doing that to Tory. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't about making a name. They gonna have names regardless. They names ain't for us. It's for them. You know what I'm saying? You mess with a little punk Mexican and you think he a punk Mexican and he big shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, any jail you go with Mexicans, they on your line. They gonna follow us.
Nigga named Little Joker and shit.
Yeah. Look at my tattoos. One Mexican did all this. I ain't had no tattoos before I went to jail. Motherfucker sat there tatting me up. The police respect him so much that when the police was coming to my cell while he was tattooing me, the police was like, yo, when you done with that, let me see what that look like. You know what I'm saying? So they rather them do their artwork, this is their craft, than be on the floor stabbing somebody up. You know? And like I said, they get drunk and they get busy. I done seen them pop on police. You know, they get it, you know what I'm saying? All this in Big Sandy. Yeah. They not playing. You know? They not playing. So the Mexicans, you got to be careful. And they not disrespectful. They the most respectful, humblest people. But if you push them to go, ain't nothing to talk about. They gonna tell you ain't nothing to talk about. You done violate already. They not gonna go out their way to violate you. Right. They ain't gonna really even talk to you or deal with you. It's gonna be a business thing, and that's gonna be it. So you gotta cross their path, and you gotta get out of pocket on them before they move, and they gonna feel when they do move, it's justifiable. Yeah. They said Tory had a collapsed lung, I think. He lucky that's all he got. Lucky he could talk about it. Lucky he could breathe. Because when they hit you up, you know what I'm saying? They not, if you die, you die. Right. I got 100 years, I ain't never come home anyway. That was his mentality, because he got like multiple murder charges. Why I'm not gonna kill you and give you a chance to get back at me? Yeah, that's true. Why? And then I got to go through this again, and I'm like, yo, I might as well have killed him the first time. That's their mentality. Go. We're going to destroy. Come on, man. You got their mentality, man. Like I said, you get put up in the wrong jail, and you don't know how to move, shit like that could happen. It could cost you your life. They put me, I had a 10-year bid in the feds. They sent me to a jail where everybody had life sentences, straight up murderers, killers, terrorists. They put me in Big Sandy in Kentucky. They put me in a cell with a dude that had 3 life sentences. I got 10 years. Shit. And he was from D.C. So if I didn't know how to move, it would have been a problem. Right. What type of time he was on, Bill? He was on respect time with me because I ain't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? We men. I don't give a fuck where you from. Word. We men, and I'm on go time. You know what I'm saying? Just like you on go time, I know how to get busy. You might have been high when you caught your bodies and did all that. When I get busy, I don't need no drugs, no weed, no liquor, no none of that. I'm just gonna get busy when it's time. I feel you violated, you gotta go, it's gonna go down. Yeah. Some of these dudes, they need alcohol or they need weed or whatever to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? To get busy, but they put me in a cell with a dude, like I said, had 3 life sentences. Killed 3 people. I made it through. We ain't had no beef. We was cool. But New York dudes was like, yo, you can't be in a cell with him. Muslim dudes, and I'm Muslim, you can't be in a cell with him. I said, well, they put me in a cell, and I ain't refusing no cell. I'm not jerking no wreck. So if it's going to go down, it's going to go down. Right. So I was in the cell with them for a couple of months, a couple of lockdowns. Eventually, they moved me out the cell. But we was cool. Like I said, D.C. and New York don't even get along. But we was good. We broke bread and we survived. You know what I'm saying? Yo, talk about the top and the lower bunk real quick. Oh, the top. So like when I was in, I ain't gonna lie. One time I did sleep on the top bunk, but that was like on some
I mean, it was a respect thing. I came in somebody else's cell, you know what I mean? So
the top bunk and lower bunk, you know, it's funny because certain dudes don't want to be on the bottom bunk.
yeah.
Because now you got this dude climbing on top of you sleeping, he's standing over you and all that. It's certain things, you know.
Word.
So it's how you go about it.
I ain't like that top bunk though, because once I got out of that cell and I got my own cell and then other people was coming in, I kept my bottom bunk. But it was just the respect factor. I came into somebody else's cell, you know what I mean?
I've been on the top bunk and I've been in the cell by myself. And I used the bottom bunk to keep all my shit when I was in the cell by myself. All my stuff folded on the bottom bunk and I climbed up on the top bunk.
See, you know how to jail.
You know?
Listen,
I'm not letting that get in my way and stop me, you know? I ain't no coward, I ain't no sucker, but I ask you, where you rather be, at the top or the bottom?
Yeah.
We gotta live together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be in the cell with all my belongings, my pictures, my letters, everything I own is in the cell. When I'm out on a visit, I'm out in y'all, you want to be here, you want to have access to all my stuff. So we need to get an understanding from the jump.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I had this one cellie, he was dirty, Bill. I had to make him clean up the cell.
Yeah, well, you got there's things you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have an understanding.
One time he put his wet towel on my bed. I snapped on him. Don't ever do that. Don't ever put your towel on my bed, man. Got my bed smelling like a wet dog.
Yeah, it's just you gotta have an understanding. When I get a cellie or I go on somebody's cell, we have a sit down. Even if the dude don't know how to bed, I'm like, yo, we need to talk. And when we do this lockdown, after I straighten myself, we're gonna talk. We're gonna see like, yo, if we can live together, we compatible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to figure this out because it's all about respect.
That's it.
But that's a whole nother story. We done went off track. We was talking about the Tory Lanez, he getting stabbed up.
Nah, I was just bringing that up because, you know, it's a rapport that you have with, you know, certain people in jail and everything like that. And, you know what I'm saying? The smallest things could set off something like that.
You never know what's going through a dude's head. But like I said, back to the Tory Lanez, and that just shows you that anybody could get it.
Word.
Like right now with the jails, the police is killing inmates, inmates killing inmates. All this is being exposed. Jail is not easy, and don't think that's a place you want to be or it's cool to go to jail. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like that, you a goddamn fool. You know what I'm saying? So you need to stay on these streets where it count.
That's a fact, though.
So, like I said, anybody could get it. The toughest guy could get it because you can't be the whole jail.
Word.
You know? You can't do that, and people not going to sacrifice their life for you, and you wrong.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So
and the messed up thing with that whole Tory situation, man, is I don't even think Tory did that, man.
It's a respect
I don't even
thing.
think he did that to Megan Thee Stallion to even be in there in the first place. So get well soon, my brother. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying, you'll be back. That's a talented brother. That's one of my favorite artists. So I hope you get well soon, bro. And you know what I mean, keep your head up, bro.
Learn from your mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. You know, this is a learning process for you. And I always tell people, don't just learn from the mistakes you make as a person, but learn from other people's mistakes. On that note, everybody stay up, peace and blessings.
Solid. All right, y'all. One.